Hey everybody, this is the earnings video that I've been talking about for the last week. I am showing the strategy that made a copy trader $33,000 in 61 days during the first earnings season. But really quick, before we get started, I do want to throw the profit screenshot up on the screen. Again, this is from the first earnings season of the year, and this is a paper money account that is copy trading my algorithm and using every single setup that it's created, or at least on days that I've logged on to it, because I did miss a lot of trading days. Always remember to do your own research. There's no guarantees in trading. I hope you guys can learn something from this and stay blessed in the markets. There we go. I just reset all the positions on the account. Starting value is going to be 100,000. We can ignore that. Let's go here. So now, what is the process of going about an earnings setup? I've already done most of the work. I use my indicator for the measurements, and then I have my algorithm that decides what I'm entering in. Remember, on the paper trader, I'm doing every single setup that is created. For my personal account, I have my own filters that rule out what I cannot enter. Okay, so I'm going to have a screenshot of what I'm looking at as I'm speaking. Right here is what my students received for this week's earnings setups. I now need to find what is released. Right now it's April 14th, so either 14 post-market or 15 pre-market. For this specific strategy, I don't care about time value at all. So I just want to get into these trades the moment before they have an earnings release. So it has to be close to market close for post-market, and then you want to look to the next day's pre-market. I have previously tested what happens if I enter 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 5 days, and 9 days ahead of earnings. Typically, this will be the best performing one because for earnings, we care about volatility and the move that happens after the earnings release, not so much time value. So with those other strategies I just listed off, a lot of those contain time value, which can be good, especially if we do see run-ups in IV that outpace theta decay. But for this specific one, I really just want to focus on the expected move after earnings. So I have paper notes here to help me out as well. Like I said in the original video, I have over 1,000 pages of paper notes just for this earnings strategy. Is the 14th. So I know today already that ticker GS, ticker MTB have already released. And then for post-market, we are going to look at PNFP, which is a 4, FBK, which is a 2, and APLD, which is a 3. So we already know that scores of 2 and 3 are deemed as risky, which fall under the all category. And we know that PNFP is going to be a 4, which falls under the safe category. Anything 4 through 9 is safe. Anything 2 through 3 is considered a little bit more risky, but I put it under all as in all trades or all setups. I'm going to turn my page and we're going to look at Tuesday, April 15th pre-market releases. So right here, I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setups to look at. I have J&J, which is a 4, BAC, which is a 3, C, which is a 5. I have PNC, which is a 3, and I have ACI, which is a 1. Again, 1, 2, and 3s are going to be risky or fall under all. Anything 4 and over is going to be considered a safe trade. Safe does not guarantee a win, and a risky trade does not guarantee a loss. I urge you guys to understand how earnings work and to create your own filters when looking for setups and not just to rely on this video. My next step is to open my second spreadsheet, which you guys will not have access to. This spreadsheet contains the measured moves, or how far the leg widths will be per ticker. So how do I find these measured moves? I have an indicator I developed that measures them for me, and I'm using over 200 pages of my own personal trades that I use during earnings. We're going to go over here. We're going to enter them. So this one I'm looking for 96. So they don't have a 96, so I have to tighten it up then. What's closest to 96? Well, we're at 92.69. We're looking for the higher one, or the call, and the closest one to 96 is going to be 95. I'm then going to find the put width. So they don't have the one I'm looking for again on the put side, so we have to look for the closest one without going to the next leg. So 90 is closest to my measurement. It is a little shorter than the measurement I have. I don't want to go farther because it's less likely to be reached. No, I gotta go down here now and erase that though. I usually do around 2% per risk on the paper trader just because it allows me to enter a lot more trades, and I do want to try to encompass every single setup I can find. We can see down here that the ask on each one is 145 and then 150. Combined, that's going to be 295. So obviously just total risk divided by 295. It's going to be a fractional of between 6 and 7. We're going to round it down to 6. Because this is a paper trader, I'm not too precise with the entries. I kind of like the market to be a little bit against me, but if you guys want to, you can always just adjust it like this. Make sure when entering that you're changing the contract size for each of them, right? They need to be equal. Confirm. Margin, yep, send. There we go. So we have that one entered. On my personal account, I probably, I wouldn't just be sending market orders, and I wouldn't just be filling at the ask. I'd probably be doing a lot of limit orders and looking for a mid price between the bid and the ask. So we're on to FBK now. We're going to look for the call leg. My measurements say it should be around 43, but we don't have 43. So this one's going to be interesting. I already know that the put side is going to be closer to 40. I don't have to do any measurements for it, so let's just fill in the 40. On the call side, my measurement is actually going to be closer to the underlying stock price than it is to the next strike price, which would be 45. 40 is considered at the money. I'm going to split my call orders with 40 or at the money and the next one, which would be 45. For the put, if I have 10 contracts, then I need 5 contracts on one call and I need 5 contracts on the next call. Obviously I have to do the math on it to figure out what I'm truly doing, but this is what it will be. You'll have 2 times as much in the put, and then you'll split the remainder in the 2 calls. Each put will be 150. The 40 calls are going to be 280, and then the bottom calls are going to be 45. So that's 475. We're just going to call it 5 contracts. Total. We can't do 5 though, right? We can't divide 5 and have an even number. So we're going to do 6, 3, 3. And then we're just going to change these to market. There we go. Now FBK is done. APLD, we're going to look for the 6. And then we're going to look for the 5. We're going to look for 35 contracts on each side. Oops. Market, market, bang, bang. So a question you guys might be coming up with is, why isn't he checking out the expiration dates? Remember, at the start of the video, I said I do not care about time value with these setups. I want to be as close to that earnings release as possible because I don't want to pay any extra for that extra time value. So typically, I will choose the closest expiration date. For certain setups on my personal filters, I will change the expiration dates. That is something that you guys have to decide on your own. For the copy trader though, it is paper money. I use the closest expiration date to represent that we do not care about time value. Okay, so that's going to be all for Monday post-market. Now we're going to do Tuesday pre-market, or April 15th pre-market. We have Johnson & Johnson as the first one, but I have to go into my second spreadsheet again, and I have to find the measurements. Again, as I go back to the second spreadsheet to check out the measurements, you guys, this is not something that anybody has access to. I love repeating this. You don't sell the goose that lays the golden egg, you just sell the egg. So you guys will not have access to the entire algorithm. But you have access to enough parts to create your own strategy or to tweak this one and make it your own. Before I go ahead and place these trades, I want to go over one more thing again. I am placing a lot of unsafe trades, or what I deem as riskier than usual trades. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades that I would automatically filter out of my personal trading. That's without even looking at anything else. I just look at the algorithm. Algorithm says no, I say no. I have 1, 2, 3 trades that I would consider safe, or they fall under the safe category. But remember, safe doesn't guarantee a win. Risky does not guarantee a loss. You have to do your own research and figure this out. The reason I wanted to go over that again was because I do everything I can to put the odds against me in the paper trader. I make sure I have no extra advantages in the paper trader. Now, my personal trading, I have a bunch of extra filters that I'm going through. Looking at J&J, we're looking for 157. We got it right there. And then to the bottom side, we are looking for 151. So there is no 151. Why do we want 152 instead of 150? Because 152 is closer without overshooting my measured move. 135 plus 90s, 225. There we go. Bang. J&J's done. Next, we're going to have Bank of America. Here we go. We can do 37.5. To the downside, we're going to look for 35, close to 36. So we're going to have to do this one. 19, 19, market, confirm, send. Perfect. We're going to go to Citigroup. We're looking for 65 and some change. There is nothing, so we have to do 65. To the downside, we're looking for 61 and some change. If we can get a 61.50, that'd be awesome. I don't think we can. This we got to do 62. Market, send. Perfect. We have PNC next. To the top side, we're going to be looking close to 160, but not quite, so we have to do 157. To the downside, we're going to be looking for that 152.5, and they have it. 216, 300, 560, 2,000 divided by 560 is 3.5, so we're probably just going to go down to 3. I realized I didn't go over this too much in detail, but I did verbally say it. For a copy trader, I'm doing market orders. That just means it's going to fill at the ask. For my personal account, I'm likely going to do limit orders, and I'm just going to adjust the slider right here. Now, I don't use Thinkorswim. I don't use TD Ameritrade. I don't use Charles Schwab. I use IBK Art. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I would likely look. So what is this? This is the put. I would look between the bid and the ask, and I would find some form of middle ground here, and I would try to fill it that price. Now, it is getting close to the end of the day. It is 3:53 p.m. Mark closes in 7 minutes. So it might be a little harder to fill. We might see spread start to widen a little bit. On to the last one for the day. We have ACI. And this one, to me, doesn't look that good for an earnings trade. But remember, we do take all of them. And we're just going to do them at the money. So the measurements I have give me about like a quarter to work with. So 21.75. But it is right there at the money. So we are going to do a straddle instead of a strangle. Maybe 16 contracts on each side. 16 and 16. Market. So why am I doing a straddle instead of a strangle like I did for everything else? Remember, my measured move needs to reach the next strike price. If it does not reach the next strike price from at the money, then I need to go back and just fill it at the money. At the money is what straddles are, so I'm doing 21.5 for both of them. Confirm and send. Everything's filled so far. There we go. So every single trade just got filled. Remember, FBK had 3 legs, but we have everything else filled properly. If you look in the top left, we are up a little bit, but this is going to fluctuate a lot, so it doesn't really matter. We're at the end of the day. We're going to see a lot of orders open, close. IV is going to spike up a little bit, so we're probably going to end the day with a net positive just because of that. But really, we want to see the reaction tomorrow morning. Really quick, I just noticed this right here. This whole negative right here, negative 44,940, that's just because I reset the entire account. So we're going to ignore this for the day, and then tomorrow it'll look all fresh. It'll represent the trades that I entered for today. That is going to be the end of this video. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Hopefully this gives you more insight as to how I trade earnings, and maybe you guys can use this to start developing your own strategy, or you guys can take this and start adding filters and make it your own. Always do your own research. There is no guarantees in the market. Stay safe when trading.